What is a mock-up screenshot? A mock-up screenshot is a way of proving your game concept. It enables alternative style directions to be explored during the early phases of pre-production by the artists. It can also be used as an early publicity tool by the marketing department of the company. Okay, so this is a checklist that you can use when you create a mock-up screenshot. So this might be something that you use within your team or when you're pitching to a publisher, for example. Okay, so the first one, define your target audience. Why is this important? Well, obviously if you're aiming towards children, for example, they're probably going to prefer a brighter color palette and simple shapes. So first of all, define your target audience. Okay, so next, number 2, search for reference. So look at your competitors out there, the other games that are similar to your own. Also look outside of games, look at commercials, films, animation, illustration, graphic design. Don't limit yourself to other game styles. Try to find a style that's unique and different from the competitors out there. 3, when you make your screenshot, try to grab attention, have a focus. For example, if you're making a platformer game, why not have the character jumping in midair, picking up a coin, for example? So try to make it dynamic and interesting to look at. Okay, so number 4, are the game elements clear enough? So a good way to check this is if you convert your image into black and white. Then you can see if the character, background, UI, objects, enemy are clear enough and they're simple enough to identify. Okay, so the next one, is it obvious what I do in the game? So is the shot simple enough so that I know who is the main character, where is he going, what's he doing? So this is again an important thing to do. Okay, so the last one, does the game look appealing? This can also come down to referencing. It can also come down to color theory. Certain colors work better than others together. So if you do research with color theory, this will help. It's especially good for mobile. For example, if you use complementary colors like orange and blue, these can work very well together. Okay, so what we're going to do next is I'm going to go through a first year's screenshot. And I'm going to show you some tips and tricks and ways of making it better. Here's the screenshot made by the first year game student. Let's go through ways to improve it, breaking the shot down stage by stage. Let's start by improving the view. We can do that by increasing the depth of the walls and changing the camera view slightly. Also, some of the objects are a bit stiff, so let's loosen them up by distorting the shapes and making everything a bit more cartoony. More props need to be added to the scene to make it more believable and lived in. Let's add things like pictures, toys, carpets, things like that. The characters need to be made more dynamic. Let's make the non-player character, the man, sneak into the room. And let's take the monster and make it more active and dynamic as well, and make it just about to scare the child. I've also changed the proportions of the monster so it's a little bit easier to see, and it also draws your focus in. Okay, so for the colours, what we've done is we have added a warm and cold contrast. So again, going back to colour theory, we've used orange and blue, and this just helps to create that kind of harmonious colour palette, and it also draws your attention to the torch and also mainly towards the cupboard as well. I've also increased the contrast where the cupboard is, so your eye goes there straight away and makes the connection that you play the monster. The user interface needs also to match better with the style, so I've used colours from the screenshot itself and also similar kind of shapes. When you design user interface, just remember to make sure that the font is always readable. That's the priority. I put a subtle glow behind it, but not made it too strong so that you can't read the text. Now let's compare the two shots and see what we've changed. You can see that the new shot has more dynamic to it. Even though it's not taken to a finished level, we now know better what direction to go in.